full of stats.
Engage Vernon.
I'm your new wingman.
We will win! Because we have...
Welcome to CommLink.
Hello and welcome back to the CommLink Podcast. We're here with episode 4. Today I'm Stubb and I'm joined by Silvius. How you doing, man?
I'm good. A little tired from today, but I'm pumped up for IAE, ready to go.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. So we're going to be talking about the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2953, aka IAE 2953 today. I've also got the upcoming 3.21.1 patch and a free fly event that's about to happen in Star Citizen as well. I guess we'll go ahead and we'll start off with the 3.21.1 patch. Really rolls right off the tongue. See, did you want to start us off with the salvage mission nerfs?
Yeah. So I think a lot of people were taking advantage. I know we were taking advantage of the salvage contract missions this past patch, having a lot of illegal cargo. Sells for a lot, so a lot of people were making money that way, which, you know, I always like being able to make money quicker in the game, but I think some people were things a little too much, which I kind of agree with, but rather than seeing them nerf those, I would rather them bring the other missions up a little bit, maybe like, you know, nerf it a little bit and bring the other ones up so people are more likely to do everything besides just those.
Yeah, I feel like at some point, right, somebody's going to have to take a fine-tooth comb through all the different mission payouts and do some rebalancing sort of across the board to make sure that things are worth people's while monetarily. You know, not everything pay out equally or anything, but when you're talking about making a few million credits in what, like a couple hours doing the salvage missions the way we were doing them, like stealing the drugs and selling them, or less time versus, you know, going out and doing bunkers or, you know, doing claim jumpers, whatever it is. Like you're going to have a huge discrepancy between how much one player makes versus the other in the same amount of time, you know. And again, they shouldn't be equal, but just saying it's hard to resist that temptation of, you know, making millions of credits super fast, you know.
I would like for them to make the RMC, the salvage material, more profitable, because right now, even if they nerf it back a little bit, there's still drugs on board or high value materials. People are going to choose to fill their cargo hold with that high value material and then just not even salvage. We do have the hull munching coming in possibly at the end of the year, so that might add some more money to it. But yeah, I think the RMC sells for a little less than it should, and they should bump that up a little bit. And, you know, other missions could be brought up too, but like you said, I think everything from how much missions pay out to how much ships cost in game, everything is going to probably eventually from what we have now.
Yeah, and bring it in closer, like especially while we're still in this testing phase of the game.
Yeah,
right. Like if you want people to test out all the different gameplay loops, and give them maybe even a little extra incentive than you normally would once the game's quote unquote released, you know, or full release.
I've seen people saying that, you know, they don't want you making a lot of money in the game because then you can buy all the ships you want in the game, and that makes you less likely to spend real money in the store, which that sounds kind of shitty. I kind of get where they're coming from, but I mean, I feel like just because I'm not making as much money in the game doesn't make me want to go swipe my credit card anymore, which I guess for some people it could. You know, if they're out there grinding at work and they want to save some time in game and buy a ship instead, you know, that's fine. But not how I really see it But yeah, mission nerfs, the economy, it's all changing over.
Oh yeah,
Get it while you can, because after well, the patch might have already have happened when this comes out. So
yeah, we're
hope
currently
everyone-
recording November 14th. As little as 2 days and 14 hours from AIE's beginning. So yeah, by the time you hear this, 321.1 might be out.
Yep. And another change they're doing is mass changes to a couple of ships. I don't think this was a big deal. I think it was mostly for the Hercules, Caterpillar, MSR. I think there was one or two more. And I think they're handling a little bit differently. I haven't been in the PTU to test. But we all knew that the Herculeses were overtuned anyway, so maybe they brought those down a little bit to more of a huge cargo handling size instead of a heavy fighter.
Yeah. So that stuff's interesting to see, but from my personal standpoint, like those, I don't think those mass changes are gonna amount to much for me personally.
Not for now.
Yeah. It is nice to hear like something got done to the Caterpillar though. When's the last time you heard some work being done on the Caterpillar? It's been a while.
I've heard people say that it flies worse because it it calculates or it flies like it's fully loaded all the time.
Okay.
Whereas the Hercules series flies like there's nothing on it at all times. So our cargo doesn't have mass right now. Which I think a lot of things in the games don't actually have mass, as you can see with your, several ton ships being blown away in a light breeze. But yeah, I mean, I hope they do add that to like cargo and vehicles and everything eventually, and make the ships and having cargo on there actually matter, and you're going to have to fly differently, carrying different things.
Just another layer of immersion, right?
Oh yeah, vitality.
Ship track, exactly. Ship tractor beams coming also with this new patch. So tell me, will I be able to use a ship tractor beam to pick up a ground vehicle, go up into atmosphere, and then drop that vehicle on top of Jump Town like a bomb?
Yes, I think so.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if the vehicle will explode. But I was watching Burks the other day, and they were at Seraphim Station, and they were dropping one of the A2 bombs out and like right on the edge of atmosphere of Crusader. And then Burks would grab the bomb with the SRV and pull it towards the station and get the trajectory right, and he would let it go. And it would like fly into a hangar and destroy everything. So I think they did it to Security Post Korea and Seraphim Station. So doing stuff like that seems really cool. But
Burks is out there doing the real testing.
Yeah, he's testing so the rest of us don't have to. And I think the tractor beams are going to be cool. I've heard some people mixed feelings on how you get crime stats and how they work with other ships. Like as of now, if you tractor beam a ship that you don't have permission to, somebody not in your party or something, you automatically get a crime stat. Or they might have changed it to where the person with the ship gets the chance to charge you first.
Okay.
But either way, if you just start,
they should.
If you just start towing shit around, like even abandoned ships was giving people crime stats.
Yeah, that's not good.
And I think they did this because people were tractor beaming the salvage missions away from where they were supposed to take place. So, I guess the risky ones, you just roll up, pull it away, and you don't have to worry about the cops showing up ever. So I guess it kind of screwed up their game loop there, and that's kind of a way they were getting around that.
I mean, that's a clever way of doing those missions, though, right? I mean, you're just using the resources available. If you got something that can pull stuff away from where the bad guys are going to spawn in at.
Yeah, that's immediately what I thought when I saw the SRV. We've been doing those salvage missions so much. I was like, oh, that would be perfect. Like, we could just pull it away into like space and wouldn't have to worry about anybody showing up and messing with us. But if it's giving you crime stats the whole time, then what's the point?
Right. The Tumbril Storm. Anything much to say on the Storm? One of the new ground vehicles coming in.
It looks cool. It looks like like, Mom, can we get the Halo Scorpion tank? And she's like, no, we have the Scorpion tank at home, and it's the Tumbril Storm.
It does look really cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. I think it's a little smaller than the Nova, so it should fit in more ships. Carrack, but I don't think the Carrack can fit the normal tank. Yeah, it looks cool. I just wish there was more stuff to do with it,
Yeah, I knew I'd seen it before. Like I kind of pictured it in my head just now. But when you mentioned the Halo tank, I went ahead, I pulled it up again, and it is straight up like they really went for those Scorpion vibes.
Yeah.
And also,
lots of nostalgia
minus,
for it.
Dude, minus the turret up top, does it kind of have like Christian Bale Batmobile vibes too a little bit?
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, so they took the Batmobile and the Scorpion tank and squished it together, and that's what we got.
Yeah. I'm a fan of it. Looks cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to rent it during the expo and play around with it a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe they'll also well, I guess they would throw them into Arena Commander too, right? So when that tank mode comes back around, maybe it's with Storms.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Ship trespassing.
That one I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
So basically, you know how it works now. Somebody walks onto your ship, you get the notification, Stubb just joined Great Cutlass Black or whatever, and you can pull up your ship manifest or your comms and see who's on the ship. But
right,
you can't do anything to make that person leave your ship unless they act hostile towards you first. Now, with the new ship trespassing, as soon as somebody not in your party comes on your ship, they are automatically hostile, and you have every right to deal with them how you see fit.
Oh, they're straight up going. What is it? Stand your ground laws.
Yeah. So
in space,
you're in a hangar and somebody comes on your ship. I guess you can't shoot them in the hangar because armistice zone, but yeah, anywhere else you should be able to lethally deal with ship intruders now. But they're not putting them on the ship manifest anymore. So if you're a trader, C2, whatever, and you're just opening your front ramp, running down, leaving it open, not caring, paying attention, somebody could sneak on your ship and you'll never know it now because you'll never get the notification that they're there. So for anybody not being vigilant on watching who goes on and off their ship, it's going to be very important moving forward after this next patch.
Lock your doors.
It reminds me of that time our friend Matt got on some dude's Vanguard in New Babbage and hid in the toilet. I think he was our bounty target. He hid in the toilet, and the dude found him. It's like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just hanging out. And the guy was like, oh, okay. Didn't think anything of it. And then flew out of New Babbage, and our friend shot him in the back. So valuable lesson for that guy, I guess.
Yeah. Oh god, I forgot about that. The data heist mission coming with 321.1. That's next up on the docket here.
I haven't personally done it. Do you know anything about it?
No, I don't.
So from what I've seen about it, it's just a new FPS mission, and it takes place in a underground facility, a bunker, and you go in, and I think there's an upload link that you have to. It might be similar to clearing your crime stat, where it has like the bars or whatever, something like that. And basically, you have to guard the facility while the bar goes up.
Wait, didn't they show this in a video like not too long ago?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I did see it because I do remember, but I thought it looked like somebody was in a bunker and then like retrieving a box out of the wall or something, or out of a terminal.
That's the new consignment missions.
I see. Okay.
You haven't done one of those yet either, but Matt and I did one the other day. Basically, kind of the same deal. You find a data pad on one of the guards down in the bunker, got a manifest of goods on it, go type it in, and at the end there's like a certain box you have to get. I think it's usually 1 to 3 boxes, and you go deliver them, and you have to like guard the kiosk or whatever the whole time while the boxes are being spit out. So it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of enemies, like wave after wave coming at you. So you're engaged the whole time. And I think it's kind of the same way with the data heist missions. Just I don't know if there's any like delivery portion of it, like you collect the data and then have to deliver it. But I do know you go in a bunker and have to defend. And I would like to try some soon, but if they don't, there's a bug in PTU right now where all the AI are falling through the floor and the stairs. So if they don't fix that before this patch goes live, nobody's going to be doing bunkers until December.
Yep. Of course they're falling through the floors. That's awesome. Yeah, to me though, it would make sense, right, with the data heist. Like if you're basically uploading the information in a way similar that's clearing your crime stat at SPK, like once that transmission's over, you're probably in the clear, right? Like you're not having to take a thumb drive and dropping it off at point B. It's more like when they uploaded or wanted to upload Death Star plans or whatever, right?
Right.
Via remote. Also, let's see. We've got the headlight refactor as well, which I've not seen, but if we're talking just in general, like how effective headlights of ships and vehicles are in game and improving that, I'm cool with that. Because we played a little bit last night and I was in the what was I driving
Vanguard?
around? Was it the ground vehicle?
Oh, the STV.
The STV, that's right. And I just noticed when driving that around, I was like, these headlights aren't great, especially in first person. Like I felt like I was getting very little from them, so I went into third person for driving. So are they working on that, or
I don't know if they touched
headlight refactor?
I don't know if they touched the ground vehicle.
Okay.
But basically what they've done, or what they've claimed to have done, I haven't been in PTU at all this patch. But what they've done is taken ships and broken them into like small, medium, large, extra large, whatever. And depending on what size class they're in, they give them their headlights a certain beam with a certain brightness.
Okay.
So just for example, this probably isn't the right numbers. But let's just say a small ship has a 100-meter beam, and then a medium ship might have a 200-meter beam, and then a larger one have 3, and so on. So I think they've basically just taken the lights and across the board just changed their brightness and how far they shine.
Okay. Yeah. So hopefully that helps with visibility with some vehicles.
I hope eventually all vehicles, which hopefully this refractor has done a lot, but I hope all vehicles eventually have lights like the Corsair. I don't know if you've been in one of those recently, but when you're landing at night and deploy your landing gear, there's actually lights that shine down on the ground where you're landing to see where you're landing at. Yeah. So it's really, I love the Corsair for that. And then even when you open the ramp, there's like a light above the ramp area you can turn on. It's like a floodlight that'll floodlight the ramp and like the back area. So I really like the lights on the Corsair, and I hope more ships get brought up to that standard over time.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like you need to be able to see where you're landing,
especially since we don't have night vision yet.
Yeah. Instead, you're just hitting the scan button over and over to try to see the
that needs to be like that needs to be like a toggle or something. Let me turn it on and it just ping like every second or 2 seconds instead of having to mash my button all the time.
Yep, because it definitely gets dark in Star Citizen.
Yeah,
like after that sun sets,
I think
you want to be able to illuminate the area around you for sure.
This isn't in 321, but in CitizenCon they talked about the global illumination or the ray tracing or whatever they're doing. There's a lot of fancy words for it. But I think the global illumination, whereas like in real life, when a star like shines light on a planet, there's some reflected light from the planet. Mm-hmm. The moon is like lit up from the light from. Anyway, if you look at like NASA pictures, and you see like pictures of the space shuttle and stuff, it's not like always super dark like it is in Star Citizen. What I'm trying to get at. So if they add that reflection from planets from the light source, or however they're doing it, hopefully that adds to, when you're on the dark side of a planet, it's not totally dark. Maybe they'll give us night vision or something. Who knows? But it needs to get better either way.
Yeah, it does. I think I found our social media clip for this episode too. You talking about the moon for a second.
Don't clip
I know
that.
what you're talking
Don't
about.
Clip that. Don't clip that.
We'll fix it in post. So changing up some headlights. The CIG's gotten their toothpaste out and their paper towels, and they're fixing up everybody's headlights. New FPS behavior, or AI behavior coming in. This is kind of what we talked about during some of our CitizenCon coverage, right? With the AI traits from Squadron 42 coming into PU.
I think that's what this.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think they're adding the trait system to, or what they have done so far, to the FPS and the PU.
And then, last but not least, actually, before we move on from that, I do really hope that it is the traits coming in, because that was one of the more exciting things for me from CitizenCon, like knowing that combat situations are going to have higher degrees of variation, even if you're doing the same basic mission type. That's exciting to me, right? We any opportunity we get to have better AI in this game is good, right? Because we've been on servers where the server health is actually pretty good and AI is working, right? And they're very responsive. But again, they don't have those personalities in yet at all, really. So every encounter basically plays out in a really similar way. But knowing going forward that some are going to be more reckless, or some are going to have better trigger discipline, or some are going to try to destroy the cover you're behind, or some will be able to heal their teammates, right? With the medic gameplay. That's going to add I think so much additional replayability to the game. So
I think
looking
they're
forward to
going to
that a lot.
be. I think they're going to be a lot more dangerous now.
Yeah. Which is, whew, they're already, like I said, when servers are working well, they're already pretty dangerous. But yeah, it's going to get real spicy.
When they, hop in front of you and aren't even aiming at you and go down because they're shooting at a 90-degree angle from you, it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get even worse now.
Right. And then up next, Siege of Orison. It's back. It's back.
Yay.
The event itself, I like the concept of, but I still don't think I've played Siege of Orison with any sort of decent frame rate or
No
server performance at all.
Only times we've tried it, it has been literally almost unplayable. Like 2 to 3 frames per second.
Yep.
And you can't do FPS combat when it looks like a slideshow. And even if you can, like somehow, shoot your targets and stuff, it feels bad. It makes your eyes hurt because you're just, everything's jumping around or stalling out. I've never had a good experience with Siege of Orison. It looks like a fun event, and the idea of it seems really fun, and I'd love to get a group to do it. But
yeah,
I said if I'm only getting a few FPS, like I can't do it. And the Orison raids are a little better. I get okay frames at those, so it kind of gets a little of that Siege Orison taste from doing those rappel raids on the Orison platforms, but I wish it ran better.
Yeah, anytime I see Siege of Orison pop up, there's always like a split second where I'm like, oh, cool, Siege. And then I remember past experiences. Like, then it's oh, Siege is back. Cool. Hope it goes well.
I hope they don't run it during the free fly.
Oh, they will. They will. They 100% will.
And I hope they run it after the free fly, but yeah, I have a bad feeling they're going to try and do both at the same time, and maybe it'll work out. I don't know. We'll see. Stress those servers.
IAE, Free Fly, and Siege of Orison all hitting November 17th. Calling it now.
I might just have to take a break from I love the expo, but oh man, it makes the game hard to play sometimes.
Yeah. This is something that it's a little off topic from our outline here, but something we talked about actually last night while playing the game was why in the world, other than if they just want to beat up their servers as much as possible for data, which I'm sure that's probably part of it. But why in the world would you not have Free Fly the week before IAE so that people that want to check out the game for the first time, or maybe they've done a Free Fly before, but it's just been a while, or maybe they only play during Free Fly, whatever the case is, like the experience that they keep getting doing these Free Flies with other events going on in the game, like it's the worst of the worst server performance. It seems like every time. And like, I guess it still works, right? There's still new backers coming into the game. They're still selling pledges. They're still doing the Free Fly events. But I just can't help but think if I were, in a position at CIG to make this call, I would be like, no, let's have a pretty smooth Free Fly. And then people, will hopefully have a decent experience with the game. And those that are interested and want to actually purchase the game and keep playing, they have something the very next week to look forward to with IAE. It's like, oh, you just bought the game, and then a week later, one of the biggest events of the year is happening.
Or they could wait until the day before, and then you have all the starter pack sales and everything. There's a lot of sales during IAE if somebody wanted to get into the game. Perfect time. But yeah, like it doesn't make sense why they don't at least run the Free Fly a week before into the event and then through the event.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. I think they should run it before and then end it right before the event. Have a better event for people who actually have backed the games and veterans of the game, and can actually enjoy the expo without all the extra bullshit. But yeah, I don't. I can't see a reason to not do the free fly at least a week before and run it through the event rather than just the event.
Yeah.
I could see, I guess, them, wanting to stress the servers and get more data and stuff like that, but at least give people a week to check out the game before it starts running like dog shit. And you can't even if I got on the first time ever playing, free, downloaded the game, went to the event, struggled through the low frames or whatever, depending on, your rig or whatever. Then go to the spaceport and my ship spawns 100 meters in the ground. Like, I would quit.
Yeah.
I would quit.
Dude, just the experience, and I was joking around about it last night, just the experience I had playing last night. Imagine if I were a brand new player, like, oh yeah, going to check out the Star Citizen game. It looks really cool. They just had a big event. They got some press coverage, whatever. Their single player games, feature complete. It's not a scam, guys. And then your first experience is what I had, where entities weren't loading for me properly. Sometimes trying to connect to a server, I would call my ship, and it would just be an empty hangar 9, at Loreville. See what else was happening. I was having that weird camera issue, first person camera issue, whereas like my character was leaning sometimes on some spawns.
I've never seen that.
That was strange. I think there was something else that happened to him, blanking on. But
You
like,
got
if
stuck
I
in
were
a few doors.
Oh yeah, that's right. On the Carrick, the medical bay doors. I got stuck in those, and also to the little hangar that was it the C8? I think those C8.
Yeah, the C8R was in there.
And got stuck multiple times, and I just slapped my microphone. Was just thinking, like, if I were a brand new player, I would just be like, fuck this. I'm out of here,
Yeah.
At least for a while. And so now imagine that's what I got last night. Imagine what the experience would have been like during a free fly, during an IAE, like with the current build, how it was performing for me. So, but hopefully 3.21.1 will help with that stuff, and everything will go smooth for the free fly and the IAE. But this isn't our first rodeo.
We're not trying to be Debbie Downers, but I think we try and keep it real here. And
yeah,
that's just the situation of free fly events right now. It is what it is. But Chris, I know you're listening. I know you watch every one of our episodes. So please consider running the free fly before the events. Thank you.
Pretty please. Give people the best chance possible to enjoy their experience and see what Star Citizen can be, instead of them seeing it on some of the worst server performance days that the game has.
Absolutely.
See, next up, did we want to talk difference between IAE and Invictus?
Yeah, so for anybody, I know free flies coming up, so probably some new people coming in. Every year we have the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, IAE, and we also have Invictus, which is a kind of military event. So during Invictus, we see the Bengal carrier, the UEE Navy has their whole fleet flying around Stanton. It's all about military vehicles. They have the expo halls filled with military vehicles, and that's pretty much it. It's kind of there's a schedule and everything, expo halls, same deal as IAE, but it's all military. And then IAE is where every manufacturer in the verse comes to show off their ships, their newest lineups and everything. And I think last year was actually hosted by Drake. We got a lot of good Drake ships last year. The Cutter and Corsair, I think, came out right around November. Don't remember if it was with IAE or not. Yeah, just a little subtle difference there.
Yeah.
You will see everything from starter ships to cargo ships to bounty hunting ships, mining ships, whatever. You'll see it at the expo.
Yeah. If it's a ship in the game, for the most part, it's going to be there, right? Like,
Yep, and you'll
other than an Idris or a Bengal.
Yeah, and you can rent them and fly them around. I think you get the rental for 24 hours, 48 maybe. I don't remember. Either way, you get a rental for at least 24 hours. And then at the end of the show, all the halls are available. You can rent anything. They got the best in show stuff.
So it's a great opportunity to try out some ships that you haven't before.
Absolutely. And I even like flying around ships that I don't normally get to play with during the expo and stuff.
Yeah. And the expo itself is, I don't know, it's fun. Like just to walk around and take a look see at everything that's there. And then, sometimes you get little holograms of like upcoming vehicles that aren't quite ready yet, but they're teasing you in game. So it's a good time. And there's a food vendor around too, so you can keep your nourishment up.
Oh yeah,
as you enjoy the expo.
Guzzle them glizzy.
That's
right
it.
In the expo. I know we were just shitting on the free fly and stuff, but the expo is probably my favorite time of year for Star Citizen, as far as events and stuff go, because I don't know, I feel like it brings the community together a little bit, and you get new players coming in, and get to maybe show people around that don't normally play the game new stuff, and I don't know, it just, there's that excitement in the air, and there's like vehicles coming out, and Jax McCleary, and like it's just a fun time to.
Yeah, if you haven't been to, if you're a new player, you've not been to an IAE, or you're thinking about checking out the free fly, definitely check out IAE. It's worth visiting. It's worth seeing. It's worth checking out the different ships available. Just go into it knowing frames are probably not going to be the best, but still worth doing. Also, you just mentioned Jax. And one of the cool things about IAE outside of the game are the Jax YouTube videos that we get every year.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it for a while now with Jax. But last we saw him from last year's videos, it looks like Jax was in a little bit of trouble in Pyro.
Yeah, so last year he was in Pyro the whole time. He never made it back to the expo. I think it was Jimmy. Jimmy was holding it down at the expo, and we didn't get the classic Whitley's guide where he's testing out new ships and showing them off, and kind of like that Top Gear feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a perfect way of putting it. It's like Star Citizen Top Gear. Yeah,
and I love it. It's great. And I know our next point is probably like our best, most favorite parts of IAE, and that's, for me, I enjoy watching those Top Gear like videos with Jax and seeing what they get up to and what ships he's flying and stuff. And I hope he comes back this year. I know they said returning in 2953, but it looked a little like he was in a little precarious situation. Left him last year.
I think the videos end this year with him finally escaping Pyro, going through the jump gate, right? Back to Stenton. And that same day that they release that video, the jump gate goes online to Pyro. It's live. Calling it now. As Jax is returning, we get to go. Yeah.
Keep dreaming. You're out of your mind.
Oh, man.
Here's some of that copium you got over there with me, buddy.
Oh, it's good. It's good stuff.
Can't even see straight. Yeah, I don't.
Pyro confirmed.
It would be cool if he
Pyro.
I know when he left for Pyro the year before, he was in the Odyssey. And then last year, I think in one of the videos, we saw a little sneak peek of the RSI Galaxy. I think that's what ship that was. But it would be cool if they, I don't know, we'll get to leaks here in a little bit, and new ships that might be coming out. But it would be cool if they were, somehow keeping it under wraps, that there's, a new, maybe not capital size ship, but like a Carrack size or maybe a little smaller, and he ends up coming back in that, and there's like straight to flyable ship. And I'm huffing the copium now, but yeah, it would be cool if they released a ship like, oh, he's like, look what I found in Pyro, and then let's release it or whatever. But I don't think that'll happen, but it would be really cool if it.
It would be. They've got to have something up their sleeve.
Yeah,
it's got to be some sort of surprise.
I mean, it's hard to sneak stuff past the data miners and people that look in all the code for the patches and stuff, because obviously we get the patches in PTU beforehand, and it's hard to hide stuff from people. They did hide the 400i that one time. People were it was called the 404. It was like invisible or whatever, the invisible ship.
Right.
You remember that?
Yep, I do.
So they kind of hit it in a sense, but we still knew there was a ship coming.
Yeah, there was something there. We just didn't know specifics.
Yeah, so I really doubt they were able to sneak anything past the date. I would be pleasantly surprised if they did. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I don't actually think the jump gates are going to go live at the end of IAE.
He's coming back in the Merchantman.
Yeah, now we're talking. I'm back on board. Jump gates are going online. Merchantman's coming to the game, and Jax is arriving in style, trying to sell you his wares from Pyro.
That's why the first day is the alien day. Figured it out.
Dude, it all makes sense. Dude, we didn't need a single post-it on a wall. We didn't use a single thumbtack, and we cracked this thing. Make sure to like and subscribe for more of this bleeding edge news. And anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing whatever it is they end up doing with Jax in these videos. I don't think there necessarily has to be some huge major surprise, but if they really wanted to keep the goodwill momentum going, right, after the success of CitizenCon and everybody getting hyped up, if you give us something unexpected and off the radar, that's a nice surprise at IAE. I mean, I think that just keeps the hype train going.
They could, I guess, keep a concept ship from. If they weren't going to put it as a holo viewer in the expo hall and didn't put it in the game at all, and then, one of Jax's videos comes out, he's in a brand new ship we've never seen or heard of before, then they could maybe release it to the store as a concept. That might be the only way they would get around, trying to get stuff past data miners and leaks. But that would be cool. I'd be down with that too.
It's a new Nomad variant. Calling it now. So do we want to actually the paints, the best in show paints,
those look really cool. I'm glad I own 2 of the ships.
Yeah,
that's about all I have to say about that.
The blue paint, right?
It's like purple and
I'm colorblind, everybody, for those that don't know.
Purple and a little blue in there. Light blue. It looks really cool. It's kind of like a shiny material too. Mm-hmm. Should have pulled up some images of them here.
Well, I was going to say I saw some images of those on Twitter /X, whatever. And they do look cool, but I also saw someone passing around like a mock-up of the 890 with that paint. Did you happen to see that?
I saw that too. Yeah.
Oh, dude, what could have been? That looked
Yeah.
so cool. If for anybody that's curious, I think I saw it reposted by Sergeant Tickles on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was
That
Sergeant
sounds right.
Tickles,
Yeah.
but it looked dope. So
Yeah. That's the only bad thing about the best in show paints is only 4 ships get it every year, and usually they're some of the best paints in the game. And this year, for anybody not aware, it's the Vulture, the Redeemer, the 600i, and why am I forgetting the 4th one? Stubbs got it. He's looking up right now.
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Let's see. We've got the Vulture. We've got the 600i. We've got the Corsair. And Redeemer. Yep.
How could I forget the Corsair? I'm not crazy about how it looks in the Corsair, but and the Vulture. Drake ships kind of have that certain aesthetic, but
yeah,
still a cool paint. It's going to look really cool in my Redeemer.
And the 600i looks really sleek.
Yeah. Melt some of your ships and get a 600i there so you can get that paint.
Oh man, I'll buy the 600i. Just give me that credit card number and
the CommLink credit card. Let's start it up.
yeah. Introducing the CommLink cryptocurrency. Everybody get in now. NFTs coming soon. Would you like to own the intro to CommLink?
Oh man.
Check out the auction coming up soon. We'll post the links to the socials at CommLink Pod. Instagram.
Don't miss it.
Don't miss it. No, but they look nice. I'm with you on the Drake. It is a little weird seeing Drake ships like that. I don't hate it, but I do think it looks better on the 600i and the Deemer.
Yeah.
And again, can't recommend enough going out of your way to find that A90 mock-up as well floating around out there because it looks really cool. It's worth checking out, even though we're not actually going to get it. Let's see. And then we've got the IAE schedule itself too. I just kind of want to run down the list real quick, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, do it.
So just as a reminder, the event's going to be running from the 17th of November to the 30th of November. So basically the whole second half of the month. And November 17th to the 18th, that's going to be the Alien manufacturers. 18th and the 19th, that's going to be Aegis. 19th and 20th, that's going to be Crusader and Tumbril. On the 20th and the 21st, that's Origin. 21st and 22nd, Drake. 22nd and 23rd, we've got Argo. We've got Consolidated Outland, which I don't. Who is that?
The Nomad.
What do they make? The Nomad. That's right. Gray Cat and Kruger. Is that right? Kruger.
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Anvil Aerospace. We've got MISC and RSI. And then let's see, November 26th going to be Best in Show Weapons and Armor. And then we have the big finale from November 27th to the 30th to round out the event.
And for anybody wanting those Best in Show paints, I think you have to have those ships in your hangar during the Best in Show or during the finale. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I think it's towards the end of the show. Have them in your hangar. That's how you get the paints. And then they're distributed shortly after the expo.
But not retroactively, right? So say if I bought a Redeemer December 7th, like I shouldn't expect the Best in Show paint to be there for me.
Yeah, I've seen some people say you have to have the ship when it's distributed. And I've seen some people say you have to have it during the Best in Show section of the expo. So I think best thing to do would be get it during the expo, hold on to it until you get the paint, and then you can melt it if you want.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here. Silvius is a CIG employee, much like Salty Mike, and he's shilling for the pledge store. Buy your ships now. Go ahead and secure that Best in Show paint.
The F5 wars are about to start up, so get your fingers ready.
Yeah.
On those limited hull ships. I had a list of them earlier. I should have written it down, but there are those couple of days where they release the limited hulls. You got to spam F5 to hopefully get one if your wallet's big enough. So that goes on during the expo too. We talked about it a little bit before we started the show. Neither one of us are really big spenders in the game. We kind of bought our ships years ago, and we've kind of been sitting on them since then. But I know during the expo, a lot of people like to do what they call CCU chains, basically buying there's sales during each day, depending on manufacturer, war bonds, and you basically buy different war bonds, CCU, cross chassis, upgrade them, other ships, discounted ships, and you basically end up saving money in the long run, depending on the leaps and jumps of ships you use. I think there's an app for it or a browser, CCU game, something like that.
Yeah, and there's always like YouTube guides floating around too.
So if you're looking to spend a lot of money this year, or I don't think you can melt your hanger and then use those to really save with your store credit. I think it's mostly using new cash. So if you're listening to the sound of my voice and you want to save money this year, plan on buying new ships, look up the CCU chain and it'll help you a lot.
And with that, I think we pretty much covered just about everything that we have to say about IAE 2953 for the moment. Again, that's going to be running November 17th to the 30th, as well as the free fly event. So that's coming up shortly, just a little over 2 days from time of recording. I think we're now going to move into some possible spoiler/leak territory. So if you're somebody that is trying to avoid Star Citizen leaks, now's your warning. Thanks so much for checking out the CommLink podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe, but also maybe shut down the video at this point, because we're about to go into leaks.
It's not Squadron 42 like story spoilers or anything. It's just new ships coming out during the expo that CIG hasn't announced, but we basically know is coming this next 2 weeks.
First up, we have the Tumbrel Storm AA.
Yeah, it looks just like the Tumbrel Storm, but instead of a turret on top, it's got a shit ton of missiles. I think I might have seen how many it actually has. I want to say 64 size 1s. A lot of missiles.
That's a ton of missiles.
Saw it earlier.
Well, while you're looking for that,
64 size 1 and 16 size 2. So it's got a pretty good missile package on it.
Yeah. Have you been in PvP combat in a ground vehicle before?
Not actual combat. I think with some people I've screwed around, like, shooting at friends' ships and stuff, but I've never actually been in like a PvP life or death situation with ground vehicle. Wait, no. We tried it that one time at Jumptown. We took the ballista? We took something. I think it was either ballista or a tank. And we landed outside of Jumptown and unloaded it in the C2, or it might have been the Constellation or something that could carry it. It was a ballista. Either way, we spent it was like an hour or more getting into position. And then as soon as we got there, the fight lasted like 30 seconds and we were dead.
I don't remember that. Was that part of that?
I'm pretty sure you were with us. It was. I think Matt might have been there. Our friend Matt might have been there. Yeah, I just remembered that. But yeah, other than that, no. I've not had many ground vehicle combat.
Yeah, I can't remember any for myself either. That's why I was curious. But maybe I was there for that. I just don't remember being in the vehicle. That maybe I was like sniping or something. I don't know.
It could have been, yeah, because I think we tried to get in there several times, and it might have been that time you killed Red Lear in Jumptown. Remember that?
That same session? Oh,
yeah.
Oh. Do I remember killing Red Lear at Jumptown? Oh, I remember it vividly. I remember that corner that his body collapsed in. I remember seeing the last breath leak out of his helmet. I remember the feeling of holstering my weapon again and then immediately getting shot in the back by somebody else and dying myself.
Friends.
I remember by his friends. But the main part of that, the important part, anybody watching, is I remember killing Red Lear at Jumptown. Yeah.
FPS legend.
Shout out to Red Lear. Love to have you on the show. But no, yeah, it might have been during that same session. Might have been.
I think it was, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we don't do a lot of ground combat in our play sessions, mainly because there's only 2 or 3 of us.
Yeah,
for the most part. But yeah, I would love to do more ground combat. It seems like a lot of fun. I've always wanted to like lock down Jumptown or like Brio's Breaker Yard or something with like, you know, ballistas and tanks and air support.
Because don't get us wrong. Even though we've not had a ton of experience fighting in these vehicles, we have definitely been fucked up by them before.
Yeah, that's like, for sure. We've been on the receiving end.
Yeah. So you can do some damage with them, and it is something that I would like to do more in the future. And hopefully, as they continue doing experimental modes and Arena Commander, that'll give us more opportunities to play around with these vehicles in combat scenarios too, where we're not just, you know, taking an hour to load up and set up our position and all that, and I guess getting killed 30 seconds later. You know what I mean? So that you can have some real combat time with the vehicle and something like a tank battle royale or whatever.
Yeah, I think it does help to, you know, power in numbers, obviously, in this game, but
yeah,
and just having
the ground vehicles will be I would assume pretty prominent in Theaters of War whenever we get that with Arena Commander.
What was that? Theaters of what?
You know, Theaters of War.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, you've not heard about Theaters of War. It's coming soon.
Oh yeah,
they said that like 2018 or 2019. Theaters of War is coming soon. Okay,
new Arena Commander mode. You heard it here first, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Theaters of War.
It did pop back up, kind of, right? Like we're getting it in some fashion. There was that video not long ago.
Maybe eventually.
But anyway, when/if it goes online, that'll be hopefully a really good mode to try out these vehicles and more too outside of regular PU gameplay.
Yep.
Moving on though, we went on a little bit of a tangent there. My bad. The concept RSI mining ship. This is the RSI. How do you pronounce this? Arastra?
I guess so.
Arastra?
Not the wrong one. Here we go. I got a picture of it.
It's the ARRASTRA.
It's anybody watching on YouTube, you can see it now. I think this thing is about the size of a hammerhead.
Okay, I can see that. It's got a cool look to it.
Yeah,
I know it's a mining ship, but it's almost got a combat look to it.
Yeah, you can see the classic RSI cockpit there on top with the kind of constellation-looking bridge to it.
Yeah.
Definitely see the RSI design language in it. I think it has the ability to like carry rock, probably. You can do ground mining, hand minables also with it. There hasn't been a whole lot of info on it. I know it has like bags that can be detached that fill up with the mineable material, and obviously it's going to be bigger multi-crew than the mole because it's bigger than the mole. So I know neither one of us are very big into mining, but it looks like a cool ship, and I'm sure people that do that gameplay loop are really going to enjoy it. And looks like it might be gray box now. I don't need, or that might just be the holo viewer. I think they're going to have a holo viewer up. Probably not in production.
Yeah, it's a cool looking ship though. That image that you have up on the screen now, like I just look at it, I'm like, man, what if it had like some big ass cannons on it and some more turrets and as a combat ship. But at some point we probably should dive into mining. I feel like we've been talking about that for years though, right?
Yeah. When we played Elite Dangerous, mining was one of my favorite things to do. For anybody that's played Elite and done mining, you'll know that you go out to the asteroid and you put the seismic charges on it or whatever, and then you have that really nice bassy explosion as the rock cracks apart, and then you have all your drones like picking up the materials and stuff, and it's a really cool process. And tried it a few times in Star Citizen. Just beam gameplay has just never clicked for me.
Yeah,
I know they have now where you add like gadgets to the asteroid on the outside, have the different mining heads, obviously, and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're still going to see more mining updates eventually. Like maybe eventually they'll have that where you plant bombs on a asteroid and blow it up, like larger ones or something. But I don't know. Just right now, it's not my favorite gameplay loop, but I mean, it's probably a good way to make money for sure.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And I mean, just flying that ship around that we're looking at right now might be a little bit more incentive to check out the mining gameplay once it makes its way into the game.
I mean, we always talked about multi-crewing a reclaimer when Salvage came out, which we haven't done yet, but I also think the reclaimer has a lot of issues, and Salvage isn't really that profitable right now. So maybe once it becomes more profitable, we'll try something like that. But yeah, I always like the multi-crew gameplay, no matter what the gameplay loop is. If we're getting a lot of people to hang out on a ship and make some money, like I'm there for it.
Yeah. So that's the RSI Arastra. How'd you say it? How'd you pronounce it?
Arastra, but
Arastra.
I know English good, so
yeah.
Don't take that pronunciation from me and repeat it. Could be wrong.
We'll wait to hear Jared pronounce it, and then
we'll hear it at some point.
We've also got an alien starter cargo ship making its way into the game. The Siolin.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know.
Yeah, we're in the dark on the pronunciation of these, and they're not super common typical names. So
the alien ships have some weird names to begin with, anyway.
Yeah. But this, unlike the RSI mining ship, this is going to be straight to flyable.
That's what everybody's thinking. It
Supposedly.
looks like, yeah. I mean, it looks like in the game, we've had a couple people do like 3D renders of the inside and everything. So I think it's pretty fleshed out. So there's always a straight to flyable ship for the Expo. And last year we had the Cutter, little starter ship, and I think it was one of their best selling ships ever. So I think these little starter ships that they can probably knock out in a few months with a small team sell a shit ton of them, that's probably a big win for CIG.
Oh yeah.
This thing looks cool as hell. I just don't know.
It's a really interesting design.
I don't know if it's something I'll fly.
Yeah, starter cargo ship. It might be something neat to have, like just if you really like the look of it, like as an in-game purchase when it's available. But I don't see myself making a starter cargo ship pledge anytime soon personally. But if you're into collecting alien ships and if you're looking for a cargo starter, this thing looks really awesome, and hopefully we'll be able to get our hands on it soon.
I was trying to see if they said how much cargo it holds, but
128 SCU. No.
Okay.
No, that'd be crazy for a starter. That'd be awesome.
It has all size 1 components, 2 size 1 shields, everything else QT drive size 1. Actually has 12 missiles on it and some laser repeaters, so it's not totally defenseless either.
Okay, yeah, slap some people around with some missiles.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get a gauge on the size of it.
Yeah, it would be nice to see it next to either a Cuddy or something like that.
I see it next to a mule. Mule looks fairly small next to it. So it's probably like Freelancer max size, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely going to be a starter. So I wouldn't expect to have, 100 plus SCU of cargo on it, but yeah, it looks cool. I'm sure people are going to buy the shit out of it, but probably not something I'm going to fly.
Yeah, this is when I can see people buying just for the aesthetics of the ship because it's so different looking from other things that we have in the game right now.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of alien ships in the game right now, but
yeah, just in general.
It seems like they are ramping up production on them because we have this coming out. We know about the Raylan. I don't think it's been in production yet, but
Givens?
maybe Raylan Givens. He's
Raylan Givens coming. Timothy Oliphant coming to Star Citizen.
Yeah, he's working for CIG now. But no, the attack Raylan, that bigger, I think it looks a lot like this, just upsized. And then we have the Santok Yai, that like light fighter, which last we saw in ISC, it was pretty close to being done. So I don't think it's in the PTU right now, but maybe they sneak it in. Maybe.
Yeah, that could be a good candidate for sneaking something in.
Because we talked about it in the CitizenCon Day 2 episode about the it was like how many it was like 10 ships or something that they showed, like kind of obscured, like just kind of the silhouette of them. And I don't think any of them were the Santok Yai that I can remembering off the top of my head. And we know that's a ship that's pretty close to being done. It's in final art phase. So if they surprise us with that too, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to set hopes too high for the surprises, right? But given that we generally do get a surprise at IAE, and then combine that with the fact that we know they've been moving over a lot of people from Squadron 42 to working on PU, like I wonder if that also means that the ship teams have gotten a boost in the amount of people working on ships now compared to, say this time last year.
I would hope so. Like, if Squadron 42 is feature complete, as Chris says, and it's just polishing phase, I don't think you need 3D artists to polish a game. I could be wrong. I'm not a game developer, but like a lot of those artists and 3D rendering artists and any of those type of people make the assets probably back on the PU right now, I would hope.
Right. So maybe we'll get an extra surprise this year, maybe not. But it does seem more possible with extra people working on Star Citizen versus Squadron now.
Yeah.
And the next up, is that Murai? Is that how you say that? Murai? Murai? The whole back end of this episode is just me stumbling over Chris Roberts' jargon. He's making up words over there.
I think it's the Mirai, because we have the Mirai Fury. The only thing it's been manufactured by them so far.
Yeah.
But this was another one of those ships that this hasn't been in the leaks, by the way. For anybody curious, this is just me bullshitting that this could be maybe coming up, because we saw the silhouette of that ship that looked a lot like a Fury, but way bigger.
Yeah.
So maybe they release, probably not flyable yet by any means, but maybe they release a holo viewer or a video of a concept of it or something like that. Because they said all these ships are coming out within the next year. So they're going to have to start announcing some of them sooner rather than later, I feel like. Maybe we'll see it too.
This would be a good event to do it with, so much focus on the different manufacturers. Start teasing it out now. Why not?
We didn't have it in our notes, but I was browsing the leaks earlier. There's a Drake super cargo ship that is
super cargo.
Drake freighter. Sorry, freighter, not super cargo. So it's a Drake freighter, early concept, may or may not happen, still early days. So I don't think this is anything we're going to see at the expo. But just since we're talking leaks, might as well, right?
Yeah.
And it's concepted as a Supermax Caterpillar. So it looks like a Caterpillar, but just beefy. It's got like an extra set of thrusters in the middle. It looks like it fits those 32 SCU crates, kind of like in a slot in the side of it. Kind of like the Caterpillar modules are now, but they're like coming out from the modules, it has those big boxes and it kind of holds them there.
Right.
But I thought that was if anybody's familiar with the leaks Discord, if you scroll through there, you'll see it. And that'd be really, I love Drake ships, and I wish the Caterpillar was more of a competitor to C2 right now. Just so old, it falls short in a lot of places.
Yeah, do you think before, let's say they do make this big boy Caterpillar. Let's say they do make it. Before they release it, do they go back and show the OG Caterpillar some more love and bring it more in line with
I hope so.
How ships are made now?
God, I hope so. One thing I don't know if I mentioned it last episode, but one thing I wish they would have talked about during CitizenCon was, they had the Zeus or whatever released. They talked about the Merchantman a little bit, but there wasn't like nothing about that panel like blew my mind or anything. So as a little more meat to it, I wish they would have been like, hey, we know we have like 100+ ships that are going to have to be refactored for this engineering gameplay. Half of them don't even have physicalized components yet. And, half of them need interior reworks at this point because they're just old design language, old art assets that they don't use anymore. So I wish they would have been like, yeah, we know we have all these ships and this is our plan to go through and update all of them. Because we've heard about the Drake Cutlass Black Gold Standard. We've heard about the torpedo boat. I can't think of it right now.
Oh, the Retaliator.
Yeah, the Retaliator. We've heard about its modularity and Gold Standard Pass for well over a year now. We've heard about the 600i rework. So and none of them have come to fruition yet. So I'm a little concerned about how they're going to tackle that big backlog of old ships. Or I don't know. They keep putting out concept ships every year and the backlog of unmade ships gets bigger and bigger. So they're there has to be not a cutoff point. I mean, I think they're always going to sell ships to make money, but at least give us a little something on how you're going to make the old ships up to the new standard. Like the Zeus, for example, it's better than the Constellation in every way, right?
Yeah.
Except maybe the snub ship. Some little things like that. I don't know. I just feel like there's a little power creep with the ships and a little concerning.
I'm sure they will make their way through the backlog as soon as they're done making all 100 star systems.
Yeah, maybe.
So just stay patient, everybody.
2 more years. 2 more years. And
2 more years. Oh man. No, so I think that was basically it for our speculation though, right? I'm looking forward to IAE. I'm looking forward to seeing what, if any, surprises are going to be given to us. I'm curious to see how 321.1 will hold up during this, if it hits live servers in time. You think is 321.1 hitting in time for IAE?
Yeah, it has to. It's probably going to hit, I would imagine, today is Tuesday when we're recording. I imagine it's going to hit Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay. So fingers crossed it's a nice stable build so that the playing experience is as smooth as possible during both IAE and the free fly. Fingers crossed.
Let's hope.
Yeah. But as always, if you joined, let's retry that. We'll fix this in post too. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button. We are on our journey to our first 1,000 subscribers. So if you would like to be part of that, feel free to go ahead and subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for checking us out. Remember, we are also on Twitter/X and Instagram at CommLink Pod on both of those platforms. And Silvius had a great time as well. Thanks, dude. I appreciate all your insights to IAE and the upcoming patch 321.1. It's been fun as always.
Yeah, I always enjoy these talks and going to keep doing it. And just thanks everyone for checking us out so far. And if you've made it this far in the video, like, you're a real one. And we're just 2 nerds trying to figure this out as we go. And we appreciate each and every one of you. So also, if you're new during IAE and you're buying in, don't forget to use a referral code. There's a referral code generator, but I'm not going to not put ours in the description down below because I am. So if you're signing up, if you're listening to me, if you want to give us a little bonus on our referral codes, I'm going to put both of ours down below in the description. So, everybody enjoy the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2953, and we hope to see you there.
Yeah, and make sure you get two game packages, right? So you have an alt account. Use both of our referral codes. You have a good guy and a bad boy account, just like us. You'll be set.
Yep, use them both, or I won't tell you whose is whose, so you mix it up. But yeah, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Be safe.